Hard question. What is the most frustrating part of speedrunning? Uh, it's really funny because like I don't get I used to get frustrated a lot when I did runs. Like there a lot of times I would get frustrated at and like you can get, emotionally like you can get emotional about a speedrun and get angry or really excited and stuff like that. Like get really excited if you get something really crazy or sad if you fuck something up and you lose a bunch of time and you're just like, dang, that's but like a lot like that is something that's within your control. So I don't really get angry anymore most of the time. I can't really think of a time where I was like thinking to myself like, dang, I really could have had like a really sick run if I didn't miss hook ship or anything like that. If I miss hook ship, then I mean, as of right now, there's nothing I can really do about that. Um, I'm probably not gonna speedrun Proud. Maybe another run, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But like, oh yeah, I gotta fix my time. That's true. I um I have to fix a couple of times in there. I never updated all that much. But back to what I was talking about before. Yeah, like so I I don't really get frustrated anymore. But like for other people, a lot of times it's like people get very frustrated at RNG. They get frustrated at bad luck, and they also kind of get frustrated at not being able to improve. Like like a lot of people will like get to a certain point and they'll kind of plateau, and they won't be able to like break through and keep on going up. They'll be stuck at a point and they'll just like run into a wall and not be able to improve, like no matter how many runs they do or stuff like that, or how much practice they do. They feel like a lot of times people feel like that, and that's probably the worst part is when you really like speedrunning is awesome because you get to constantly see yourself improve over time from the very beginning when you Roshi, thank you for the sub by the way. Awesome. But from the very beginning when you start to however long you keep going, you just keep improving, and that becomes kind of like addictive, and really it gives you like a real sense of enjoyment. Like, yeah, dude, I worked on this and it worked out in the run, and the run was really good, and I can improve this, and I can't wait to put in some more time and do even better. You get to like really see yourself improve constantly over time, and people keep on coming back for that sort of thing, to keep on improving and have fun playing their game and working at it. Um, so, but when that stops happening, when you don't actually see the numbers go like get lower, when you don't actually see yourself improving immediately, and you kind of start to like, that's when you kind of that's when a lot of things are happening. And that's probably where, if you're stuck in that position, that's probably like the worst feeling you can get, is you feel like, man, I've been working so hard and I'm not getting anywhere. What is wrong with me? Like, I can't. And people get frustrated, and that can make them play worse. Like they'll have these expectations of themselves to be like, oh man, I have this PB, but really my play level should be like this time. I should really like, oh dude, I have like a 255 right now, but really I should have like a 252 or a 251 or something, like, because that's how well I feel like I'm playing if I didn't have all of these mistakes and shit. So that you get kind of trapped into this like this vicious cycle of expecting yourself to improve and not improving, and that just kind of snowballs into this big issue that you can't get past. Um, and I've gone through that plenty of times with runs where you just kind of expect yourself to be able to do something, and you get frustrated and you just can't keep going, and then all of a sudden speedrunning isn't fun anymore. It's like incredibly frustrating all of a sudden. That's probably where, from what I've seen from other runners and from what I've seen for myself, and I've been there, that's the worst that speedrunning can give you, is being stuck in a place where you feel like you can't improve, and you start to doubt yourself, and all of these other issues. And a lot of people, and that can be a huge deterrent for a lot of people. But that's just something, that's just part of the deal. I've come to realize that's just kind of, you gotta deal with it. That's speedrunning right there, is, I mean, I don't, it's, yeah. So, that'd be the most frustrating part of speedrunning, is like, yeah, I'm repeating myself again over a couple minutes. And yeah, there's like bad art, like people can run. That's why you don't really see a lot of people like RNG. That's a lot of why you don't see people running like Recom and other games like that. Is because, you know, it's, you know, people don't like people don't like luck being like the main reason why they can't get a run going, or why they can't get a run started. So they just don't do that. A lot of people. So like, so 1.5. And I mean, RNG is also. I mean, or luck really. Start calling it luck. RNG is kind of like, you know, RNG and luck are kind of the same thing. RNG is the random number generator in the game, and a lot of people kind of use it for the same word, but they mean two different things. Luck is the more correct term, I would say. People say RNG because it's a video game, but luck is, you kind of, luck is, it sounds dumb, but luck is also somewhat within your control. Like, you, what's the word? Luck is within your control, like, from my standpoint, like, or luck or randomness, because you kind of just have to, you either have to deal with it in a certain way, or you have to find a way around luck to make luck, like, less of a problem, or just not have it be a factor in the first place. Like for example, like, back in the day, in KH2, when Master Form Route was still a thing, what was it? Grim Reaper 2 was a problem, because you had a chance of hitting Anti-Form in that fight, and it was like a 25% chance. It was almost like it's almost the same percent chance as missing hook ship. And getting Anti-Form on Grim Reaper 2 is minutes of time loss. It's even worse than hook ship. So in that case, to get around the RNG,
User joined your channel.
we just use a different strat, where we would cut down on using dry forms, and we realized that, you know, movement in certain places using dry forms just wasn't worth it in the first place, and we just kind of got rid of that factor of luck. And then there's and then there's hook ship, where you just kind of have to accept it and realize, like you'll start your run, and you'll get through like deep jungle, and you'll get through Agrabah, and you'll be like, man, this is a really, really good run. But if you're good, and you kind of like, and you've run the game for a long time, you realize, dude, halfway through the run, the game is going to determine whether or not I'm going to lose 50 seconds or more. So it's not like I can be. You can't get too emotionally attached to a run. And some people can help it, and some people can't. Some people are just like, you know what, whatever. This has been a good run so far, but if this happens, then I probably can't continue, and I can't PB, and that's just kind of the deal. And then some people are just like, oh, dude, I've worked so hard. Please, RNG gods, just give me this run. I've worked so hard. I deserve this. Please don't shit on my run. And then they get crushed when it just happens, and it's just kind of like, you know. it's part of the deal. And
Yeah.
whether or not you can deal with the fact that there is RNG in the game that you can't control right now, whether or not you deal with that or not is completely up to you. It's not really up to the game. The game has already decided whether or not it's going to take away 50 seconds from you. So it's up to you to deal with that loss and just say, okay, this run's over, we're just going to start another one and stuff like that. Or the run continues and you're just like, damn, you know, surprise for me, awesome.
Or you can continue your run even with mission step.
That's even better. Like, you can turn it into a no reset run and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna finish this run. This run's not gonna PB most likely, but it's nice to see the rest of the game, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going. And you can, you know, get some experience off of that, and that's not, you know, and that's great. So, like, I'll end by saying this. I've been there where speedrunning has frustrated the shit out of me, and I felt like sad and depressed and felt like I couldn't do anything. And I just kind of got around that. You just kind of have to realize these things, like, oh, you know, luck this, and, you know, oh, I'm not improving for however long. You just gotta know what's good for you. What's good for you. Like, if this thing that you're doing over and over and over again is giving you stress, and every single time you do it, every single day, it's giving you stress rather than making you happy, that means that you need to stop. The natural reaction to something that is constantly giving you stress is to just remove yourself from whatever is giving you stress for a little bit of time, aka give yourself a fucking break and play something else, and then come back to it, and then you'll feel better and refreshed. And that's fine. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, oh shit, like, I got into the mental trap of like, oh dude, if I stop playing 2FM right now, I'm just gonna be rusty, and I don't want to have to go through all of that work to get back into it. When in reality, the game was just giving me so much stress, and it was really me just kind of caught in my own mind of trying to get the run and resetting over and over again, where there was no way I was gonna, like, I was in such a fragile mental state that I wasn't gonna go anywhere. I could get runs going, but then, you know, they would die, and then I would feel shit, and I couldn't get anything going, and that would just make me even more stressed, and the hobby that's supposed to be giving me joy in life is all of a sudden my biggest, is the number one stress producer in my life. So,
To be honest, I always thought that way with level 1 data or RPA on PS2.
yeah, that seems like a category where you just can't run it for extended periods of time,
Yeah.
because it just stresses you out so much having to go through some annoying data org members. So yeah.
Plus resetting.
Yeah, that's my long-winded response to what is the most frustrating thing in speedrunning, is that I actually didn't even really complete my last thought, is that you if there's like if you want a material thing that actually is the most frustrating thing in speedrunning, it's yourself. The most frustrating thing that comes from speedrunning is you and your own expectations of yourself. And that's completely up to you, honestly. It's completely up to you whether or not you want to continue with that hobby and try and work around it and still make it continue. Like I could have quit, honestly. I could have just stopped speedrunning and moved on to a different hobby because this was giving me so much stress, but I didn't really want to, because I felt like I had come so far that I kind of owed it to myself, that I'd worked so hard at it, and I was like, I realized that I was genuinely talented at this thing, and I mean, and I put so much work into it along with that talent, that if anybody was going to be cheated out of, like, you know, enjoying this or getting good at this, then it was going to be me. I would be cheating myself out of like an awesome experience and the ability to do like wonderful things with speedrunning. So I just kind of had to, over time, I just kind of like looked back on how I like had like made myself just so angry, and it just kind of got over it, I guess. It's hard too when you're in that mental state to think around, like, to get around mental barriers, but that's what you do, essentially. Is it's just kind of having a positive attitude and never being deterred, even when shit doesn't go your way, and doing you, and just you doing you, just you know, making yourself happy. It's a hobby. It's a hobby first and foremost, always. It's a hobby first and foremost. So if it's making you mad, then you stop and you take a break or do something to remove yourself from that stress. And that's really all there is to it. I wish I could organize these thoughts a little bit